morning sun rose over the valley of Elah, casting long shadows between two hills where two armies faced one another. On one side stood the soldiers of Israel, their armor glinting weakly in the light, their hearts weighed down by fear. On the other stood the Philistines, proud and confident, led by their champion Goliath of Gath. Goliath was no ordinary man. He was a giant, nearly 10 feet tall, clad in bronze from head to foot. His helmet shone like fire, his chest plate was heavier than most men could lift, and his spear was like the trunk of a tree. His steps shook the ground, and his voice was like thunder rolling through the valley. Every morning and every evening he would step forward and mock Israel. His challenge rang out, "Send me a man to fight. If he defeats me, we will be your servants. But if I win, you will serve us." The men of Israel trembled. Their courage melted away like wax. Not one soldier dared step forward. Even King Saul, taller than any in Israel, could not face the giant. For 40 days Goliath's voice echoed, and for 40 days fear ruled in the camp of Israel. But far away in the fields of Bethlehem, a shepherd boy named David watched over his father's sheep. David was the youngest of 8 sons, overlooked by many, yet he carried within him a faith greater than armies. When his father Jesse asked him to bring bread and food to his brothers at the battlefield, David obeyed, not knowing that this day would change his life forever. When David reached the camp, he found soldiers whispering, their eyes fixed on the valley. And then he heard it, Goliath's booming voice. David turned, saw the giant, and felt anger rise in his heart. "Who is this Philistine," he asked, "that he should defy the armies of the living God?" His brothers rebuked him. "Be quiet, David. Go back to your sheep. This is no place for you." But David's words spread until they reached the king. Saul summoned the boy and studied him in disbelief. "You are only a youth," Saul said. "Goliath has been a warrior since his youth. How can you fight him?" But David stood tall in faith. "When a lion came against my flock, I struck it down. When a bear seized a lamb, I killed it. The Lord who delivered me from lion and bear will deliver me from this Philistine too." Saul hesitated, then nodded. He placed his armor on David, bronze helmet, heavy breastplate, sword at his side. But David could barely walk. He shook his head and removed it. "I cannot wear this, it is not mine. I will go as I am." So David walked to the brook, kneeling down to choose 5 smooth stones. With only his sling, his staff, and unshakable faith, he stepped into the valley. Goliath's laughter rolled across the field. The giant raised his spear and jeered, "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks? Come closer, boy, and I will feed you to the birds and the beasts." But David did not flinch. His voice rang out clear, "You come against me with sword, spear, and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, whom you have defied. Today the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and all the earth will know that there is a God in Israel. For the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hands." The giant roared and moved forward, but David ran faster. His hand reached into the pouch, drew out a stone, placed it in the sling, and swung with all his might. The stone flew straight and true. It struck the giant in the forehead. The sound echoed like a crack of thunder. Goliath's laughter stopped. His eyes widened, his body swayed, and then, with a crash like falling walls, the mighty warrior fell face down upon the ground. The valley fell silent. For a moment, time seemed to stand still. Then, as dust rose from the fallen giant, the truth became clear. David had won. With no sword, no shield, only faith and a sling, the shepherd boy had slain the champion of the Philistines. Terror seized the enemy army. They turned and fled as the Israelites, filled with sudden courage, chased after them in victory. The shouts of triumph filled the valley, and David, small, young, and unknown, stood over the fallen giant, not by his strength, not by his skill, but by the power of God. That day all of Israel learned that the battle is not decided by size or weapons or numbers. Victory belongs to the Lord, and through the ages the story of David and Goliath has lived on, not just as the tale of a boy who defeated a giant, but as a reminder to every heart that no matter how great the giants we face, fear, doubt, hardship, or impossible odds, faith in God makes the smallest among us strong.